First of all, I measured the cupboard where I'd be fitting the spice rack. At this point I didn't have a straight edge long enough, so I just grabbed the length of offcut. I decided that I would make the overall depth of my rack 3 inches, so I ripped my boards down on the table saw. Once I had my depth, I needed the height, which was 28.5 inches total, to fit in my space. I don't have any side supports or stop blocks to make these cuts, so I measured the boards, made a cut and used that board as a guide. Once this was done, I measured the width to 10 inches total for the shelves, and again I made the cuts and used that board as a guide. Once I've made all my cuts, I gave it a quick sanding to smooth out any rough edges. At this point I will decide where I want my shelves, and mark the placement for each and add a mark for my dowel placement. This is really your own preference on distance between shelves and where the dowels will be placed. I decided to have my shelves at 16 cm apart and the dowels at 3 cm from the top of the shelf and set back 1 cm. As I will be using the top shelf for bigger bottles, I decided that this would be 21 cm from the second shelf. Once I have all my marks, I can start to drill the holes. What I did was clamp the two sides together so that my holes lined up on each side. I don't have a drill press, so I used my cordless drill with a 9mm bit to bore the holes using some electrical tape as a depth guide. I measured my dowels to 10 inches and added a further ½ inch to each end to allow for the holes on each side. After cutting, I tried the dowels and had a nice snug fit. I decided to give it all one coat of paint before I fitted it all together, and I'm just using a 1 coat white primer quick dry, which was my choice. I thought it would make it easier to paint now rather than when it was all fitted together. At this point I had changed my mind about gluing the rack together and decided to use pocket hole screws instead, without a countersink, as I like the effect they gave above the wood. Once I had completed one side, I flipped it over and put on the other side, lining up the dowels with the holes and securing it again with some pocket hole screws. I actually decided that I wouldn't need a back on my rack. As I would be fitting it to the side of my cupboard, it would be unnecessary to add this, and it would give it a wood effect from the cupboard. So, thanks for watching this episode on Make It With Wood. I think it turned out quite nice. I actually used 3 coats of paint. Tune in next week for another video. I'm going to call this one done. Leave your comments below as well as any suggestions or tips that you have, and I'll see you all next week. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel.